I cannot believe I'm saying this right now, but we have another update 1 month later on the story. I think my husband fathered his best friend's children. I don't know if I've ever been so excited for a video. This was posted on October 31st. Happy Halloween, everyone. It's been a while. Things have continued to spiral. Who's surprised? Had a number of comments and private messages wanting to check in, which I appreciate. While I obviously still can't talk about much, I've shown this post to my legal counsel before uploading it, and they have approved it as safe. So, the headline here, which I already addressed in the comments, is that Luke and Amy talked about themselves as half siblings in the letters I found on Luke's laptop. I forgot about that part. The timeline is still a bit unclear to me, but Jim had an affair with one of his college-age students and she got pregnant. Years later, her daughter became friends with Jim's son. Amy was abused in her parents' house and everyone in Luke's family wanted her to get out, which they eventually did. At that point, Jim told Luke and Amy the truth. It wasn't until a couple years later that they began to sleep together. Hey. As far as recent updates, Kaylee has spent some time in a psychiatric ward. Tom discovered that she had done something very reckless. Social services have also seen fit to remove her from Luke and Amy's care, so she's currently staying with Kat. Oh no! Amy hated that, and I'm told she raged for some time at the idea that I would poison Kaylee against her, and that in her anger, she made some choice threats. Well, you guys already fist fought. So I have been advised not to reach out myself, but Kaylee has all the information and I did send her a message promising her that she could always come to me about anything. I think that's more than all right. If she initiates, I will not turn her away. My troubles are not over and they got worse after the test results came back. Everyone was tested. This is what we were missing. I finally know the truth now, beyond a shadow of doubt. It's like the Maury show. I need my envelope. Luke is the biological father to all 4 of Amy's children. We knew that. We knew in our hearts, right? After years of wondering, confirmation feels strangely hollow. It changes almost nothing at this point, but it is proof that he was unfaithful to me, like incredibly. Luke is still maintaining that it was an open relationship. I had thought to use incest charges against him and Amy, but that plan hit a roadblock. The 2 of them had mandated testing as well, and at least according to the results, Luke and Amy are not siblings. All right, what's going on here? I don't understand it either. Perhaps Jim was wrong all this time. Either way, I still have proof that they believed it to be true, but they are now insisting that it was just a kind of role play for them. I don't know what's worse. Luke also threw a curveball at me by demanding we test my children as well. I honestly hated him for that. They've been through enough as it is, but he's claiming that I also participated in this open relationship and that the paternity of our children will prove it. In particular, he was adamant that Sophie be tested. I couldn't figure out why. But I think Luke must know something I do not, because the test results for Sophie came back negative. They said Luke is not her father. What? Then Luke began to claim that they had tested Sophie years ago to be sure. I was certain he was lying, that he had somehow sabotaged the test, but he did submit a DNA test from about 10 years ago, and it likewise maintains that Luke is not Sophie's father. Huh? Before anyone asks, no, I never had an affair of my own. It's seeming like you might have. I never cheated on Luke. I had no idea how this had happened and I could not make sense of it. I requested another test and that has yet to arrive, but with 2 tests already, I'm bewildered and frightened. I don't know how this is possible. Since I was never unfaithful to Luke, I can only assume that something was done without my consent. Oh, I never even considered that. I apologize for my reaction. I have never been sexually assaulted as far as I am aware, but there were a few nights back when I used to get drunk with Amy that someone could have possibly drugged me. What scares me is that Luke tested Sophie years ago. I feel like he knows more about this than he is letting on. I've discussed this with my therapist and my lawyer. I've tried to get to the bottom of it, but I just don't know. I've been upfront about everything with Sophie. I believe Luke is trying to make her doubt me to drive a wedge between us. The wedge is already there. Let's be so for real. I've promised her that I've never had an affair, that these results are impossible. I don't think she believes me completely, but I also don't get the sense that she's angry with me or that she feels betrayed. I think she would honestly prefer it to be true at this point, that Luke was not her birth father. The rest of my kids don't know about this part yet, but they probably will soon. Gossip is spreading like wildfire among Amy's kids and my own. I've never been the sort of parent to read my kids' texts, so I'm not sure about the specifics. But I'm not going to address this with them unless Sophie gives me her blessing. She was the only one whose results came back negative. The rest of the kids are proven to be Luke's. It just doesn't end. Kat is not speaking to either of her children, but that's not to say she's giving them the silent treatment. Technically, they're not allowed any contact with Kaylee right now. I hope Kaylee's okay. So keeping distance isn't really optional. But Kat is furious with them both now that she's seen the state Kaylee is in. She's likely going to explode at them when she next has the chance. I wish I could describe a happy ending for our family, but trouble is far from over. I'm actually somewhat traumatized by the idea that I might have been assaulted and never knew it until now. And if that is indeed the case, I'm not looking forward to the conversation where Sophie finds out about that and about her origins. That's terrifying. Anyway, I don't know when I'll next update, but I'm taking the kids to a haunted house tonight, so that should be fun. Now, she did answer a bunch of questions in the comments, which gives us more answers to things, so we're gonna get into those, because I need every update possible. But before that, we're hopping on hydration station. Yes, this is a party cup. No, it's just water. It is like 6:45 a.m. right now. So, cheers. Cheers to this friggin' update. Finally coming. Someone commented, it makes sense they didn't care if Tom and Sophie started dating. I think they could have drugged you. Maybe it happened throughout your marriage, like some sick kink. That's the only explanation. The law needs to get involved and conduct police investigation, lie detector tests, or something. There's a trail to truth in there somewhere. His computer needs to be seized. All the DNA tests were official? Question mark. She writes back, all the tests were official. Lie detector tests generally aren't admissible. Short of that, I have no proof. That would be the most disturbing part to this entire story. If that was in fact true, I feel like that's almost too crazy to believe. I probably don't want to believe it. My mind is not letting me go there quite yet, because I was just getting over the whole half sibling thing, to be honest. The DNA results for Sophie from years ago. Has your lawyer requested to have it authenticated? I have a sneaking suspicion Luke and Amy created bogus results to discredit you. Or they could have had someone else take the test for him. Does Luke have a close friend who might be willing to do a favor for him? What about Jim? Oh, I don't think you read the part where Jim's no longer with us, which is really sad. Do you think he would take a test for his son? Also, can you clarify whether or not Kat knew the entire time Amy is Jim's biological daughter? I wanted to know that too. Where is Kat in all this? We have, yes, as far as anyone can tell, it is authentic, but I have my doubts. I don't know if anyone would be willing to assist Luke in such an endeavor. It wasn't Jim though. He still would have shown up as a grandfather. Kat didn't know until recently when Luke and Amy were growing up. She just always kind of assumed that they would get together. Right. We did find that out. That Kat just recently found out about this so-called affair with his college student. Wow, the cheating runs in the family, doesn't it? Don't you have the chat where they both, or at least Luke, tried to save face at the beginning and told you that there's nothing? And I'd say do a maternity test with Sophie. And talk to your lawyer about your options should it come out that you have been indeed assaulted. I'm throwing a hard side eye to France, where this exact type of thing is going through the news all over the world. That's so disturbing. And why exactly did he get her tested 10 years ago? None of this makes any sense, and every judge or court sees that he's full of BS when they look at this entire thing. Any judge is going to be wildly confused and also entertained when they look at this thing. The end, though, is getting a lot more serious. This is a whole other thing. She wrote back. That was in person, the talk they had. I'm worried about testing Sophie's DNA against me. I'm still going to, but if the test says she isn't mine, what if the state takes her away? Oh, wait, what? If she's not mine, how's that? She is yours. She's got your DNA. She grew inside of you. Is it just too early in the morning? Am I missing something here? Hi again, OP. That means original post, by the way. The person who posted it originally. Forgive me if this was asked, but I assume since you had no suspicions of Sophie not being Luke's, does this mean she does share similar features? I believe you said Luke was part Asian. Does Sophie show these features that she should be sharing with Luke? If so, maybe you can narrow down potential fathers if Luke is 100% not the father from your past via race. I know that's easier said than done. It's almost 2 decades, and I know you said that if an assault happened, then it would have been while you were intoxicated. But maybe Luke and Amy were friends, maybe still are, with someone who looked similar to Luke that a lawyer could reach out to and ask if something happened. I feel like I've missed a very important part to the story. Y'all, I feel like I'm tripping balls. Did she say she didn't have, like, they didn't adopt this daughter? Did they drug you the night you got pregnant with Sophie? Good luck with everything. I'm so sorry you're all going through this. That's what people are thinking. She responded, there were a few nights around that time period where I got pretty drunk, yes. Obviously, she doesn't have proof or any knowledge that they did that. If she did, that would answer all her own questions. Is Kat still funding Luke and Amy's lifestyle? I'm curious about how they're surviving without your money. Forgot about that. They're surviving. Kat is now mostly sending money to Tom and letting him control how it's doled out. Luke and Amy do not like that, but it gives him a degree of power in that house. He's making sure his siblings are looked after. Okay, I was also curious about the money thing and how Kat stands on all of that. Are the rest of the children Luke's? We already know that. Can you contest all the tests and repeat? She said the rest of them are Luke's, only Sophie isn't. I did contest her results. The plot thickens. I feel Sophie is just trying to take it all in, maybe stressed deep down, or she's just sick of Luke and Amy. A lot has been going on. She may just be digesting it all and replaying it in her head to think about it and create her own opinions. Maybe you both should try to have a self-care day, spa and nails done, ask her how she's feeling, tell her, you know, it's been a lot lately. I have faith that you two will work it out, and I know you and your family will be safe and get out of all this. Make sure you find time to check in with your kids and, more importantly, yourself. She wrote back, we are all sick of Luke and Amy. We're all sick of Luke and Amy. Us too. My kids, their kids, Kat, genuinely everyone is just done with them. And on that note, that is the end of the update. I am keeping my eye on this post. A month later, 2 months, 6 months, I got you, okay? Stay classy out there, stay sassy. I'll see you tomorrow.